Hey guys, I'm making Phillies tonight. So right here I have 1 cup of mozzarella cheese, 2 ounces of cream cheese. I'm gonna stick those in the microwave. I'm gonna do 30-second intervals. Usually takes about a minute, sometimes a minute and a half. Just gonna get the cheese melted, mix that together real good. I'm gonna make the fathead dough for that. So while I'm working on the fathead dough, this is the Philly meat that I use. I get this at Sam's. It is my absolute favorite. It comes with 3 sleeves of 4 patties. They look like this. Just brown them up. Throw in your vegetables and everything. So here's the cheese after 30 seconds. Mix it up a little bit. I'm going to throw it in there for another 30. And I'm going to brown up my Philly meat. I like bell peppers. Hubby doesn't. He likes mushrooms. I don't. So I'll cook all the meat and then I'll kind of separate it and just cook the vegetables and keep everything separate. You can do this in one pan. Okay, so don't judge me. I've actually been in the pool drinking cocktails, so I forgot it's 1.5 cups of mozzarella. So I mix that in. I'm just going to microwave it a little more to get that all melted. All right, this is looking good. It's all melted together. So I'm going to add 1 egg and 3/4 cup of almond flour. This really is a lot easier to do when you're not holding a camera. But there we go. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of seasoning. So I'm gonna do garlic, a little bit of garlic powder, and a little Italian seasoning just to flavor up the dough a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I do. Stir that up, and then I'm gonna roll it out. Okay, I wanted to show you this because I've had several people ask about my Fathead pizza recipe. I actually did that in the Ninja blender. This one I like to stir by hand because I'm gonna handle it a little bit more with my hands. I tried this once after putting it in the blender and it's really sticky when you put it in the blender. So just stir it up really good with a spatula. And you can see like the cheese doesn't incorporate completely with the flour, but it's okay, I promise. So that's what my dough looks like. I'm gonna put, this is parchment paper with no wax. I'm gonna put another piece on top of that and roll this out as thin as I can get it. Alright, minor freak out for a minute. I was about to start bashing Whirlpool because my stove is about a year old and it was not working. I had to move it to a different burner, but I turned it off, turned it back on, and it's working fine. Anyway, so browning the meat. I browned it on one side, flipped it over, and then I'm going to break it up. Make sure it's all cooked really, really well. And then I'm going to throw in the mushrooms and peppers. Okay, so here's this. I sprinkled a little bit of mozzarella on one side of each piece. I really prefer provolone or Gouda is really good. Swiss. I usually do provolone with my Phillies, but this is what I had on hand, so that's what I'm making. So I've got the peppers, the nothing meat for the kiddo, and then mushrooms for the hubby. This leftover meat is really good. for breakfast, I'll just put it back in the pan with some eggs and make like a breakfast burrito stuffing kind of thing. Super yummy. Also put some jalapenos in our meat. Okay. So this is the tricky part, and several times I have gotten very frustrated and given up on dinner. But I'm gonna make sure all the meat is in the middle. I'm gonna take this piece, carefully peel it off, and just kind of press it around. See this? I think my dough was sitting there for too long, so it's getting a little room temperature. But it doesn't matter. They might not be pretty if they're not sealed perfectly, but they'll still taste amazing. By the way, I forgot to mention, I did preheat the oven to 350. So that's warming up. I try to close all this, like seal all the little ends so it'll keep the cheese in. This, you could really stuff this with anything. Like, I'm thinking like ham and cheese hot pocket kind of thing would be really good. I've made this, I've made empanadas, really yummy. So just the fathead dough. The first few times I made this, I mixed it in my Ninja blender. If you've seen my fathead pizza recipe, you'll see that. It's really good if you're making pizza, but for this, it gets really, really doughy and sticky. It's not good for handling. I learned that the hard way. So this one I just mixed with a spatula and it turns out just fine. Okay, so those are all sealed. Not super cute, but they work. I don't know if you can see that. So now I'm gonna put a cookie sheet with a clean parchment paper. I'm gonna put these, you know, separate a little bit on them, and then I'm gonna bake it. Okay, here they are. Just separate them enough so that they're not sticking together. I actually use the same parchment paper. Oh, by the way, I get my parchment paper at Kroger. This is super convenient. You pull out one sheet, you don't even have to tear it, and it fits perfectly on my perfectly blackened cookie sheets. Best parchment paper ever. Make sure you use the no wax kind. All right, just checking on the guys. It's been a while. This is gonna be a late dinner tonight, but they look really good. Almost done. Just let them brown up pretty good on the top. It smells amazing. I'm hungry. All right, they're done. It was about 25 minutes in the oven. Everything's browned. I was thinking I might have to flip them, but underside looks good. So dinner's ready. Y'all check this out. Fathead dough is amazing, super versatile. You can make sweet recipes with it too. Really good. Y'all try it out. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Love you guys. Thanks.